was me at 300 pounds. Let me tell you a story how I got there. You know, when I was a child, I was actually very active and ran in school, didn't have a problem with my weight. When I got married, I was a size 8. For me, that was perfect. But as things happen, and I'm just a regular person like everybody else, marriage went bad, and I started feeling very depressed and just didn't like myself. I felt unwanted and unloved, and food became my comfort. I would literally sit down and eat a whole cheesecake just to feel better, not thinking of what I was really doing to myself inside. And little by little, the weight just began to come on, and I looked up, and I was 300 pounds, miserable, going through a divorce. My mother was ill. She was basically dying, and that added to it. I went through that for several years, got to the point where I went to my doctor one day, and I didn't realize at first that I was 300 pounds, because I camouflaged it pretty good, because I used to model. So I knew how to camouflage. I knew how to dress so that people couldn't really tell how big I was. But my doctor told me one day, he says, "You've either got to lose weight or you're going to die." And I knew then and there I had to do something, because I was only in my early 30s. I didn't want to die. So I tried this diet, I tried that diet, I did the whole yo-yo. You name it, I tried it. It wasn't working. I would lose weight, gain back twice as much. Lose, gain back again. You know the story. So one day, I got on my knees, and I said, "God, if you'll teach me how to get healthy naturally, then I'll go and teach other people to do the same thing," because now I knew what it felt like. People that I used to tease because they were overweight, I know what they're going through now because I was going through it. I was that one that was overweight. And so little by little, I began to read, I began to study books and learn what health was all about. I began walking, and at first, my respiratory system had gotten so bad, I couldn't even walk a block without having to stop 3 or 4 times because I just couldn't breathe. But I was determined. I had to do it. It was either do that or die. So every day I made myself get out there. And at first I could only go about a block. But I did that until I could walk a block and a half. And then next thing you know, I could walk around the block. Now it took me some time, but I did it. I didn't think I was ever going to be able to speed walk again, which is what I love to do, and I couldn't do it. But I kept going and kept going. And the weight began to come off. I began to change what I ate. I completely changed my diet because I had the acid reflux. I was having panic attacks. I was in the hospital so often that they knew me by name when I came in the emergency room. And I thought I was having a heart attack because that's what it mimicked. Panic attacks mimic a heart attack. But they could never find anything wrong with my heart. But I was borderline diabetic. I was on the way to having high blood pressure. You name it, I was on my way to it. But I kept at it. I kept working at it. I tried putting a little water in my diet and kept drinking the water because I knew that water was good for me. Didn't like the taste at first, but I put a little lemon in it and it was tolerable. So I kept on and kept on, and day after day I'd go a little bit further and a little bit further. I looked up and I'd lost about 20, 30 pounds. So I was like, okay, I can do this. So I kept at it. Then I began to put aerobics in. And I would do my little aerobic tapes because I was still too embarrassed to go to the gym. But I figured I could put in a DVD and work out by myself and nobody could see me. And that's what I did. So between the aerobics, between the walking, eating right, little by little, I came down, and now I've gone from a size 26 down to a size 14, working on a 12. My goal is a 10. I'm not trying to be a skinny ninny, but I just want to be healthy, and that's happening. And I know you can do it too. You see, my other goal was this. Everybody in my family My mother, my aunt, my father, all of them, they had some health issue. It was either diabetes, kidney disease, heart problems. Everybody in my family had something, and they were dying early. Now, all of my relatives, all of my aunts and my uncles, my mother and my father, they're all dead. And they died at an early age. My father died at 49. My mother died at 66. My other aunts died in their 50s and early 60s. And I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to be walking around either sick or on medication or walking with a cane. I didn't want to die early. Life was too precious to me. So I kept on, and I kept on, and I was determined every day to do something. Even if it was just 10 minutes of exercise, I was going to do something. And that's what I did. And the more I began to learn, I began to share and tell people what I was doing, because people wanted to know, what are you doing? You're losing all this weight. And I wasn't on a fad diet. I had changed my lifestyle. And it was the best thing I ever did. So I kept my promise to God. I began teaching. I began to get training. So now I'm a health coach. And I'm having a blast helping other people to learn how to make lifestyle changes. And it's fabulous. And now I'm 57 years old. And I feel great. I feel better now than I did when I was in my 20s and 30s. And you can do it too. All you have to do is make a choice, make a decision that you're going to make that change. If you want to get some help, because sometimes we need a little help, and that's why I got into health coaching, because I really do. So if you'd like more information, give me a call at 202-510-7007, or you can email me at healthhappens@hotmail.com. I'd love to help you out. Enjoy the journey.